419 with Gretchen DeBacker, Matt Killam, and Kevin Mullen.
Welcome into the 419, powered by WGTE and presented by Witro Wealth Management. I'm Kevin Mullen.
Gretchen DeBacker.
Matt Killam.
It is a Tuesday edition.
It is.
Of the 419. We've got a bunch of great, it's going to be a jam-packed show. We have like 18,000 people that are going to be on the program today.
That's a record.
Yeah, no, I think it's because I'm not used to there being two guests in the middle segment.
Okay. I try to throw you off.
Yeah, no,
as much as
you've
I
done
can.
it. You've done it. So we're gonna continue our tour day cafe.
This is the last one.
Coffee Quest.
All right.
The Coffee Quest ends at the end of June, so this is our last Coffee Quest guest. So get involved in it.
Copper Press Roastery is with us here today, so
White
we'll
House.
talk to them about their business and why Coffee Quest, why this matters. And then our good friend Zach Vassar is going to come back on the program with Ben Malczewski. They've got an authors sort of series event coming up with Live Arts Toledo.
This is a big deal. I know about this sort of tangentially from Gretchen, so it's me excited to kick off here. It's nice to have it in our little burg here, but it's a national tour that'll be kicking off here in relative short order, so pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And Ben, Ben's a good dude.
I don't know him. You guys both knew him. I'm surprised that you recognize the name. Who?
He grew up in the Yarborough's house.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Inside joke.
Gretchen and I grew up in the same neighborhood, and she is based on.
And Matt is wrong about who used to live in this one house.
What I can
Because
basically.
I was in the house many, many, many times, and he, of course, was never invited inside over the threshold.
Oh, it's almost like it's your house and it's me.
Almost.
Yeah.
Never been invited in.
It's a dump in there.
Yeah, so you can relate.
Oh, it's a dump. Is that what you're saying, Matt? It's a dump?
Yeah, exactly.
Gretchen's house.
Right.
The front yard is a Frankenmuth of Old Orchard because it's Christmas 24/7, 365.
Have you taken down the reindeer?
It is down. It's not a reindeer. It was a nutcracker.
Yeah. It
Oh,
fell
even
down.
worse.
She didn't take it down. It fell down.
It rusted out.
That's right. Yeah. 3 years, turns out those things don't hold up forever.
The light bulb's still on, so that's a
Yeah.
bonus.
Not metaphorically.
Yeah.
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 And then Tina Bossenbrook,
Yeah.
Yes,
WGTE.
one of our faves. Third
She's great.
time? Third time? Second
She's a
time?
third-time guest.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Two more and she gets a jacket.
That's why we got to keep her away from that because we don't have the budget
We
for
don't have,
jackets.
we don't have the
Yeah.
jacket yet.
Yeah. And then she's going to talk WGTE education program, kids summer programming, some of the great things that are happening here and around the community, courtesy of our incredible friends at WGTE.
Yep. They've got a full summer of stuff. Tina has been working with our programmatic department at the Metro Parks with some pretty exciting stuff. So I'm excited to see how it's going because summer has just started for most little kiddos. But she's great.
I want to remind everyone why we're talking about kids and stuff to do and needed to fill time in the summer. This coming weekend is the Metro Parks Watershed weekend stuff quite literally every day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but Saturday is the day. If you have the kids, the family, load them all up, get downtown. The MLK Bridge is going to be shut down, full of activities. You can rappel off the bridge, you can try kayaking, you could do the climbing wall. It's going to be unbelievable. Matt did not know I was going to say this, totally unsolicited, but very excited for next weekend. So make sure that you take the family down there. Watershed weekend.
Rappel off the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be able to, it will be south-facing, not due south, but we have our tree climbing program, the same one that we brought inside the library to climb up into the atrium. You'll be able to climb off of the Martin Luther King Bridge and rappel into sort of the basin there that's right in front of 1C Gate, which of course is the big glass third building if you're not familiar.
Nice.
Pretty cool stuff.
That's very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, love it. All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we will kick into Coffee Quest.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Copper Press Roastery. We'll be right back on the 419.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE. It's Coffee Quest up until the end of this month. So get out and enjoy great local coffee shops all across Northwest Ohio. We're joined now by Gareth Jones with Copper Press Roastery. Gareth, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Where is Copper Press?
We're in White House, right across from the high school, so part of the community. That was one of the driving forces as to why we got into the coffee shop. Now.
How long have you been there? At the location?
We've been in that location for 4 years.
And are you roasting? I mean, true to the name, are you roasting your own beans?
We were roasting originally, and that was the idea. One of our business partners, David, he's got experience in that. We just bought our own roaster, so we're now, and it's bigger, and so we're going to be doing that.
To supply just the shop or to also sell whole bean?
Whole bean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I've been the Copper Press multiple times. I work for the Metro Parks during the day, and it's a convenient place to have meetings. It's a great establishment.
Thank you.
Gretchen is a bit of a coffee snob, so she can talk about that, but there's a multitude of things that you offer there. And not to out myself as a total glutton, but I ate through most of your case.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
do I. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the concept there. If those of you who don't know, if you walk through the doors, what's the experience you're hoping they have?
Yeah, I've been in the restaurant business in Toledo for 20 odd years. And when we moved to White House, my wife really wanted to be more involved with the community. So that's how we ended up in the coffee shop and doing it with David and my wife. My wife's more involved than I am. But it's all
She
about
just makes
service.
you do the interviews?
Yeah, at 6:45 in the morning.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's all about service. It's all about community,
Yeah.
along with serving quality. So all our syrups are homemade. Everything's made from scratch. The food is made from scratch. We buy from local bakeries. So we buy from Silapus, and then we buy from Purple Penguin in Tempe.
Why is that important to you? Why,
Supporting the community.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Supports
how
the local business ecosystem,
right.
right?
But that's how independents survive.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Independents in Toledo, it's the hardest market for restaurants.
Yeah.
And if we don't work together, then we won't be able to compete with the big guys.
You know, you talk about the culture of, or the vibe of a coffee shop, right? I'm curious, when you guys were opening, right? You walk into a space and it's a blank slate for you guys to decide what you want it to be. What was one of the first decisions you guys made about, you know, about the space to try to build the vibe that you're hoping for?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it very differently than my wife looked at it, and possibly David, because I look at it and how am I going to make money on this?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
But also
That is a critical part of the business. Yeah.
My wife looks at it and like she created the space.
Yeah.
She created that environment. So the soft seating areas that we have, the tables where people can sit and work. And then one of the important things, it was actually our dining room table at home. That's there.
Oh, neat.
And that's a nice gathering place for people to sit and, you know, have time together.
You said that you had been in the business for 20 plus years. I can tell by your curved spine and the sadness in your face that's true. How did you get? I have the same.
Thanks.
How could? Yeah, no, I'm with you, brother. How did you get into this this space? And talk to me a little bit about your lineage there.
Yeah, I was introduced to the restaurant business 25 years ago by Nick Tokels.
Yeah, sure.
He was at the time, my father-in-law, and I worked for him, and we grew the business at Nick and Jimmy's and all the T-Town Boys locations.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I had quite the education,
Yes, literally by
and
far.
one it's been invaluable, and yeah,
But you
miss him every day.
I bet. An important, he and that business is an important institution in a multitude of ways. I've always thought Nick and Jimmy's was a rare combination of both a true bar, and a family place.
Great food.
So we being my family when I was a child, we would go there Friday nights. We'd get a roll of quarters, and my parents would entertain other family friends that had kids, and we would play pinball and stuff like that, and the parents would eat. And then later then it was a real live bar.
Real live bar.
And those concepts don't necessarily wed together, and for obvious reasons, but it wasn't that way in Nick and Jimmy's. But I do think there's a core tenet about what you described, or I guess based on your wife's beating this into your head, core tenet about making a place feel welcoming, and Nick and Jimmy's, and what it sounds like the juxtaposition between earning money because you have to feed your family, and having it be a place where people feel comfortable and welcoming and making it their own. Do you have, what's the secret to your sauce there, Mr. Jones?
I think that Mr. Jones, Gareth.
Yeah, that's not what you said before you started. You said, call me Mr. Jones or I'm walking out.
I mean, we have to be very honest with ourselves in this business, right? I mean, you can go down the street and get a Heineken or a burger or a cup of coffee, right? I mean, let's be honest. We're not we're not reinventing the wheel. We're not unique. So what do we have to do? Well, we don't have a 6-month order book. We rely on people coming through the door every day. And you do that by service.
Yeah,
and I've insisted, and that's one of the things that we did at Nick and Jimmy's when I had Sani shop at Levis Commons. You remember something about that customer, and you don't have to remember their name. Remember a joke they said, remember what they ate, remember that they tripped or something and it became, everyone laughed, or anything that makes them want to come back.
Yes, sir.
Because there's so many places that they can go get a cup of coffee or a sandwich or a beer.
I always thought, too, one of the best ways to have a lifetime customer, everyone remembers, no one remembers a good experience, really, right? But an error or something being messed up is such an opportunity to make a lifetime loyal customer.
Oh, yeah.
Because your reputation is truly on every plate that's coming out of the kitchen. But the ability to write something that was wrong and have people see that you care, you can't cheat being genuine, as trite as that sounds. People can tell if you care, and that's what they'll remember.
Well, yeah, I have that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think customers, like, I think while we all hope for perfect, like no one is expecting it every time.
Yeah.
And so like mistakes happen.
Right.
And so
That's why I've always admired Gretchen, because she's given up on perfection just
tried.
decades ago.
Yeah.
But I
Not
mean,
me.
but
I'm English.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And you guys know food.
Right.
but we had
Yeah. This can boil for a long
This interview went downhill very quickly. Didn't it?
Yeah. You can tell by your audience how many people.
That's right.
Yeah.
but I mean, I had an experience at a restaurant a couple of weeks ago that just, I mean, it was just a bad experience,
Sure.
right? And it like bad got worse.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not putting my pants back on. I don't care how close I am to the buffet.
But I remember saying to my wife and ultimately like in a conversation with the waitress at the end of the night, saying like, I'm not upset that the mistake happened. I am upset how it was handled,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And so while I appreciate that you came in and you owned the mistake, then you tried to pretend the rest of the night like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And if you had tried to solve it, it would have cost you less money.
Sure.
But now that you didn't, like now I'm not paying for the thing that we got 2 hours late.
Right.
Like, but it's a tough business, right? And I appreciate Gareth hearing you say, to some extent a cup of coffee is a cup of coffee, right? But as somebody who owns a coffee shop, I imagine when you go around, you're tasting other people's coffee and going, oh, ours is better.
Yeah.
What keeps you? I want to say humble. What keeps you hungry? That you can't just rest on, oh, our coffee's better. And anybody who, I do this with Starbucks and my daughters who love Starbucks, and I'm like, Starbucks is the worst. But people love Starbucks, right? And so you could say our coffee is better than Starbucks, but that's not going to stop people from going to Starbucks, right? So what are you doing to keep you hungry and keep you earning?
I mean, in this business, like Nick drilled this into me from the start. If you're not evolving, you'll die. And if you're not constantly changing in this business and constantly learning, every day, if I don't learn something in this business, and I own restaurants as well, and I do other food service stuff, I'm always looking to learn. And whether that's how we do the process to be more efficient, to be better, to be able to serve our customers better, whether it's improving the syrups, whether it's improving the coffee, it doesn't matter. But you've got to try and find something every day in this business, because I guarantee you Starbucks is.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's exactly right.
I guarantee it.
You mentioned that you are English. It's obvious to our audience that you are. Can you tell us how you landed
didn't
here?
say anything.
Well,
Did
you
you
are
say
carrying the
anything?
Union Jack, sir. Yeah.
How did you land here in Toledo?
I originally came here to play rugby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I play, well,
I've heard that story 1,000 times.
really.
Right?
It's a Toledo thing.
So classic.
Yeah.
It's a big Toledo following.
Huge.
Jamie Farr was big into rugby.
Yeah, they used him as the ball.
So, I did that when I was actually in Florida, and then ended up in Toledo. For
Got it.
you guys can figure out.
Yeah,
why.
we can figure out the rest.
Yeah. That story I have heard before.
We're talking with Garrett Jones with Copper Press Roastery. You mentioned community is important to you guys. What are some of the things that you guys have done to not only build a community, but support the community that surrounds you?
I mean, Coffee Quest is a big thing, obviously, and that's I do have my note to remind me that I have to talk about.
Your wife
Coffee
Angie
Quest.
provided some notes for you.
Sure.
But that's a great community thing, and
Yep.
what that organization did in setting that up has been great. And
What do you see during these
we
months?
see it uptake in sales.
Yeah,
we see
good.
other people coming, and
That's amazing.
And that's other independents helping, like I said at the start.
That's right.
And if we don't help each other, then it won't work.
How smart was it to be across the street from the high school?
Yeah, we were fortunate that location
Yeah.
came up, and that has definitely helped. It also has its challenges.
I
Yes.
bet it does. Yes. And we'll skip past that. I get. There are unique items, and not to leave anyone out, so maybe this is putting you on the spot. But if you walk into Copper Press, from your perspective, what are can't miss items that are there?
I mean, the coffee.
Okay.
The coffee, and when we're roasting our own, you'll see, we're sourcing it responsibly. We've committed to roasting it within 2 to 3 months, so it's not sat on a shelf like other people's coffee.
places.
You'll notice a difference when you brew a coffee that's been roasted within that time frame. The bloom is different.
It is.
The flavor is different.
Have you always had a palate for coffee, or is that something you've had to develop?
My palate for coffee is very different. You really should have my other partners here talking about it, because I just drink espresso.
Sure. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Black coffee with espresso.
Okay.
So they're the ones that have the palate for coffee. I'm the food. I did the food that we serve, the burritos, the breakfast items.
Well, let's work.
That's what I bring to the table.
Well, let's work into that then. All those things are important, not just from the business model standpoint, but you have people there who have elongated stays, which is a mixed bag.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me about the items that are can't miss from a food perspective.
So the breakfast burritos are a big item there,
Yeah.
and the breakfast wraps. But it's a full burrito. It's hash browns, egg,
Wow,
cheese,
that sounds
sausage,
good.
Yeah,
and
it
then
does sound good.
some custom sauces that I did at Sarni's, and now we do at Copper Press. So we have a bang bang sauce, we have a jalapeno aioli, we do a cilantro blend. So there's different items that we put in, and then the pastry items as well.
Who cooks at the house?
Not me.
No, that's right.
Not me.
That's right, man. You earned it during the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Is your wife working full time in the business as well?
No, my wife is. So I bring the food service and the restaurant experience. David was the coffee guy, and my wife is a school psychologist.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So in order to be in this business, you do have to be a little crazy. So
Yeah,
she's the one
she
that
counsels
controls
both of
both
you.
of us.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
So if there's
Yeah.
an organizational structure, she's definitely at the top of it.
That's right. Yeah.
Wise men. Yes, very good.
100%.
We all knew that was the case.
Yeah. As she just texted, it's time for you to take your medicine.
No, she takes this time for me to leave.
Things moving forward, Coffee Quest, of course, comes to an end. There's no seasonality to one of the last legal drugs being sold in terms of caffeine. But is there a seasonal menu, or but what's next for the Copper Press that people can be that you're willing to out here on the program?
Yes, okay. Now you see, now you've got me. I was doing great, right? We do have a summer menu.
All right.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
And it's delightful. Yep. Oh, another text is coming through. Tell him to shut up. Got it. I can assume
The
that's
summer menu, it's going to be wonderful.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It
And,
is.
you know what? There's no reason to set that too soon.
Come
Yeah.
in and try it.
That's
Come
right.
and
That's
try it.
exactly
Why
right.
should I spoil it here?
That's exactly right. That's
Right.
more of that English charm that you learned on the rugby field.
That's right. Yes.
Nothing says charm like rugby. What
Subtle.
No human, no human being that's listening to this will know any of the positions in rugby. But I was telling our producer, who is just a nightmare, isn't here today. He is a South African. I was staying in the same hotel as the South African national rugby team, and these guys were built like this table.
Yes.
You are not. How but you're not mangled or unpleasant looking or unpleasant. Period. How did?
I stopped.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
before the concussions took over.
I didn't play with
There's
those.
not enough breakfast burritos, brother, to put you in the lineup
There's two groups of people that play rugby. Okay,
Yes.
so there's the forwards and the backs.
Okay.
The forwards are the how do I say this politely?
You don't have
Because I
to.
had to sign a release.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You just can't swear.
Then we have to skip it.
They're special. They're special.
Yeah,
They're special.
We'll take that.
Those are the forwards are special.
And then there's the backs, and we're the pretty ones and
Yes.
the funny ones, and
Yeah.
we do all the fun stuff.
And you make the forwards go forward.
Not really. But they're there. They're the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bigger,
If you
not so
were-
smart ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not so smart.
Those are the
That's
ones I
good.
missed.
That's
If you
good.
were coaching a rugby team,
Yes.
and you had to put us out on the field,
Oh boy.
where would you put the three of us?
Far on the field. Far.
Yeah, parking.
Far.
Yeah,
Yes.
helping park the cars.
Parking lot would be a good place, yes.
That's fine.
Parking lot would be a good
Helping
place.
pick up the trash.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You'd be safer there.
Yeah, 100%.
I can take tickets.
Yeah,
I
sure.
can do that. Just put me in the ticket window. It'd be great. Gareth, thank you so much. If people want more
Thank
information
you.
on Copper Press, where can they find it?
Social media. We have a website, and we're right across from the high school in
Okay.
White House.
It's a great place to drop in. Again, like I said, I've had multiple meetings there, and it was worth the stop and worth the stay.
Appreciate it.
Couple weeks
Appreciate
left.
the support.
Couple weeks left in Coffee Quest.
Get out and enjoy some of the great coffee across Northwest Ohio with our friends from Destination Toledo and Coffee Quest. We appreciate Gareth and Copper Press and all of our Coffee Quest participants joining us on the program. We'll take a break. We'll be right back on the 419.
To me, community means connecting to others.
I'm Donnie Miller, and welcome to The Point.
I love PBS Kids!
We're a community committed to education. Discover new ideas, dive into exciting subjects, and engage with the world around you.
I would send them personally a t-shirt. Crime doesn't pay in the old West End, pass it on. That's how we cleaned up the neighborhood.
Vision loss for people is not the end.
It's a story, it's the next chapter.
WGTE Public Media invites you to Get Out and Play Day.
The 419 at 7 a.m. on YouTube, 3 p.m. on FM 91, and 6 p.m. on WGTE Connects. It's the 419, powered by WGTE.
WGTE, where you come to watch, listen, and learn.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE. Matt, are you okay?
Matt.
Yep, just getting it.
It's only
Just getting
Tuesday,
ready. It's
Matt.
it's just a Tuesday.
This is not ASMR Tuesday.
It isn't. Yeah.
You guys, before we get to Tina, who is the Director of Educational
And an
Services
actual
here at
professional.
WGTE, I have to tell you about this new thing in my algorithm. Tina, back me up.
Oh, geez.
I watch this ASMR video of someone pulling like the dead things off of succulent plants. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's
deadheading.
mesmerizing.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what that is.
That's what you just said.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're just studying botany.
That's right.
Speaking as a teacher, that's your exploration
Thank
of botany.
you.
First of all, now I'm
Thank you.
curious, and I don't care if I heard that. Tina has never said one supportive thing to me. This bozo starts
knows
talking
I
about
need it.
watching something on her phone about deadheading, which is, and both of you are like, deadheading, what's that? That's the thing.
That's not what it is.
Matt,
Anyway,
Matt
Tina.
Matt works for a botany agency, so he knows these things. Tina Bossenbroek, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Third time on the show.
Halfway to a jacket.
Second time. It
We had
maybe
to
just
cancel the
feels
third.
like the third time.
Yeah.
That's a song,
We
right?
had to cut the third one because of all the profanity.
Okay, that's fair. But we've
right.
said, so you get to 5 times and you get a jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we can't invite
like
you back.
Matt?
That's
Yes.
right.
You get this actual jacket.
This is it. Yeah. So I'm sure that you will fall just short of the fifth. I'm like Borat. I've been wearing this coat
I think
for.
I'm getting really busy.
Yes, exactly. All of a
Yep.
sudden, no time.
Well, that is actually true. That's a good segue.
Okay.
Yeah, you have certainly very busy. You've got a busy summer planned.
No, I mean, do you own a Segway?
I don't.
Well, your life is the
Oh,
worser.
that's the segue you were talking
Yeah,
about.
your life is the worser for it.
I think
Yeah.
I would injure myself if I ordered.
100%.
no doubt about
You've
it.
got, let's start on the programming side. There's a couple of new programmings coming to WGTE for kids this summer.
A couple new programmings.
Did I say programmings?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Something's amok with you today, man. Are you smelling burnt toast?
I might.
Yeah.
It's been a long week.
Kevin is the.
Is that a sign of a stroke? Smelling burnt toast?
Yes, absolutely.
I did not know that.
Or making a show in a studio.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Save us.
Okay.
Tina, help us.
For kids, let's go with
Yes.
what's directly marketed towards kids
Let's
right
do it.
now. Okay, so we have movie night coming up this Friday, which is our quarterly movie night. Rosie's Rules. So it's all about community. Rosie likes to teach kids about community. Rosie will be here herself,
Oh,
so
you're
you can
kidding.
come and meet Rosie.
Nice,
Have your
fun.
picture taken with Rosie. Do some fun activities.
What's the age group for that?
Rosie's 3 to 6.
Okay.
But with older kids, older siblings coming, they always enjoy the activities.
Tina,
too.
one
You
more
can
time with the
find
date
something
and time of that.
June 12th.
Okay.
Doors open at 5:45, so it's 6 to 7:30.
Cool.
Right
so
here at the
fun.
studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have a movie night on the road.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. At Wildwood.
Thanks to you. Yeah.
So there's
And we're
a
showing
new-
The Exorcist.
We are showing Wow's About. So Jim Henson, so any Muppet grew up on Muppet shows.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So Jim Henson produced a new special called Wow's About. It's set in Sequoia National Park.
Oh,
so the
neat.
backdrop is actually Sequoia with the puppets, Roxy and Ronald out in front. They become junior rangers, explore the park, develop their awe. So it's all about developing awe, whether that be nature, reading, whatever it is, the little things in life like picking the dead leaves off your
Please don't.
succulent.
Please.
Which tweezers?
Whatever finds you awe.
Is this
Whatever finds
is it going to be
awe.
outdoors? Is it in one of the
It's at Ward Pavilion, so
Okay.
we'll show the special. Then we have activities that will be inside, hopefully outside too. If
Yep.
it's a nice night, they can take a walk with their family. You go home with giveaways and activities to do at home.
And both of those are totally free.
Those are totally free.
That's
Tina,
awesome.
Can I ask you, when you're building programming, you obviously have to consume this content yourself. How does that happen? Do you at home? Do you tell the family? I was like, all right. Then you've got older children. Are you like, all right, kids, we're going to watch the new Daniel Tiger because I got to see if we're going to play it or not?
Well, we're empty nesters, so I send them the links. They never watch them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Those
I
lousy
watch
kids.
them or make my husband watch them
I
with
love
me.
this.
So I get to get paid to,
Yeah.
We asked this question of a lot of guests, and I'm curious in this from your perspective.
What do you
you're-
like the best of the three of us?
That's right.
Obviously.
You don't have to
I
answer
like
that.
them all.
Yeah, that's not true.
I was a teacher. I can't have a teacher's spot.
Fair enough.
Well,
Even
then
though you
I've
try
got
to be
nothing to
teacher's
strive for the rest of this interview.
That's right.
There's no chance at a teacher's pet. I'm out.
Yeah.
No, when you're planning programming, is there somebody that you see or somebody that you think about that you're programming for? Is there a particular individual that you're thinking about when you're deciding does this fit for WGTE or not?
And why is it Steve Bannon?
I'll answer Kevin's question.
Sure. Yes.
So Allison, my colleague, and I like to think about things in kind of three buckets. We like to think about, we have programming directed directly toward kids. We have programming directed toward parents to teach them how to use our programming educationally. So, I mean, we all know that kids spend a lot of times on their screen, and we don't want to encourage like constant just passive viewing. We want it to be active viewing. So how can you view as a family and then take what you see on the screen and continue that learning into your everyday life, whether it's being in the car, at the grocery store, during story time and bedtime at night, whatever it is, take those themes and those educational standards and goals that the show is trying to present, and how do you bring that into your everyday life? So that's what we do with movie nights. And then we also reach teachers as well.
I think I understand the difference between passive and active viewing, but
I'm not sure you do.
yeah. But help me understand, like what would be an example of passive viewing and what's an example of active viewing?
So if you're just setting your kid in front of the TV so you can go scroll on your phone, or you can, do whatever you need to get done, that's kind of passive viewing. And we all do that as parents. There has to be a time, I remember when I had 3 small children, sometimes you just have to cook dinner, or you have to take a shower, or you have to go and make dinner. I just said make dinner.
Well, you have dinner every night.
Make dinner.
My kids
I feel
eat
like
so
it's
many
more than
meals.
once a night.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
But
there's things
3?
you have to do.
Right.
So you can
It's
put them in
one
front of there. But active viewing is more watching together, asking questions, discussing what you've seen afterwards.
Sure.
How does that teach you something? Why is there educational value in PBS Kids programming, which there is an amazing amount?
There's
Yes.
amazing amount, and it's so easy to access, and again, totally free. The WGTE app is amazing.
I agree, and I hate that.
So you have
thing,
that
though.
on your phone. You can give that to one of the kiddos to watch some of the shows on there. But then is there additional educational type stuff on the website?
There's some on the website, but there's also, there's PBS Kids viewing app. There's the PBS Kids Games app. So every show, whatever the educational content is, so like I said, Rosie's Rules is community content. There's games for Rosie on the Games app. So one of them is you learn how to read a map. Like, how do kids learn how to read a map? And I know we all have our phones, but like, 100%. What happens when you don't have your phone, or what happens when you're trying to look at your phone and understand how it's, you know, how it's organized on your phone? So you have to learn.
That's so cool.
How does the mail work? Why is there one day for garbage day? There's all just those community themes that are presented in Rosie's.
Tina, this is potentially an unfair question, and I do want to give you a bit of a nod here because I know there's a multitude of it. But is there any particular piece of content in whatever that content may mean that you remember as like a wow, like, boy, this is incredibly well done? I know there's probably a bunch, but in your experience, where you're like, boy, this is a home run, this is incredibly well done. Is there one that stands out to you?
I mean, on the PBS content? I'm not really sure if there's one. One favorite thing of mine is, you know, being PBS employees, when a new show comes out, we get to hear a special webinar from the people who created the show.
Oh, cool.
And so we get to hear every single kind of thought process and detail that went in, and how many times they, you know, did different hair for a certain character, or how many times they had a, you know, different catchphrase that they were testing out about what that character is going to be. Like Rosie likes to flop when she gets really frustrated. She flops and has to try to think about it. You know, and
Anything
she has
relatable
her
there, Gretchen?
No, I don't understand what you're talking about.
So, I mean, there's something about each show, and I love to hear from the producers and creators of the show how much attention to detail went into the show.
And what they're trying to communicate.
It's incredible to me, like the creative minds that went into that, just the time and the energy, and it just amazes me every single
It's the creativity combined with the education, with working with educators, I'm sure, to get that message out,
There's an overwhelming amount of content that is not what you just described out there, right? And as trite as this may sound, and I don't know if you want to expound upon it or not, but does this provide some level of hope to you? I mean, your kids are in college now, and in colleges that I would have only been able to go to clean up after them in the cafeteria. So I know you're very proud of them, as you should be. But it has to be inspiring still. I mean, this is a job, and although it is a good job, you still have to get up and go do it. But to your point, you get to listen to this and then go back to the doom scrolling or whatever it is. Does this provide some, maybe we're going to make it, maybe things are okay? Does that register to you in that fashion?
It does, and I mean, this segues great into the third event I was going to mention anyways, is Be My Neighbor Days at the zoo on August 10th.
Biggest PBS celebrity.
Yeah, and PBS Daniel Tiger walks in, and the amount of kids that know Daniel Tiger and can say his catchphrase and know that he is all about being a good neighbor and about being a good friend and being kind. And that event especially just inspires everybody at the station, because a lot of times our station our station employees like to come and volunteer at the event. So
it's August 10th
at
at the Toledo Zoo.
At the Toledo Zoo.
And what time is it?
10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Do people need to register in advance?
They don't.
They can just show up?
The event is free. You can get into the zoo for free if you're a Lucas County resident. PNC helps us with this event, so they'll also have the mobile learning lab or mobile learning adventure there, which is kind of a job exploration for young kids.
Cool.
But just lots of events. You get to meet Daniel Tiger, the smiles, the screams, the joy on kids' faces.
I would imagine that everybody knows Daniel Tiger, but if they don't, I mean, it's Daniel Tiger is part of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, and
he's
it really
a savage predator, right?
No,
he's reformed. I think this is unique across most PBS Kids programming. You know, when your kids are watching it and you're watching with them, there's programs I've watched that are designed for kids that I just want to like take a pen and jab my eyeballs out because it's painful. But with PBS Kids programming, there is and certainly with Daniel Tiger, there's so many connections and things I can go back to remember from growing up with Mr. Rogers that replay themselves through Daniel Tiger and some of the lessons.
Yep. The nods that they have to Mr. Rogers in there is incredible. That was another, you know, we experienced that with Fred Rogers when we talked to him all the times, and the little details that they put in there that if the parent is watching especially and
get it.
watched Mr.
Yeah.
Rogers, they see that there's that connection back to Mr. Rogers. So it's just the whole new generation that Fred Rogers created to just keep that learning.
And you
Tina,
also
when you're
have-
not continuing, please go with your insipid
Sorry, you
comment.
also have 2 new programs in addition to these 3 live events in June, July, and August. 2 new programs coming.
Yes, we are thrilled. Lucas County Commissioners has sponsored a new program that we are thrilled to start producing. Shane and I are making A to Z videos. So
Cool.
we're using iconic Lucas County locations to create short form videos for kids. And then
Nice.
accompanying little flip decks so they can go and visit that activity.
Oh,
they
fun.
can learn their letter. It's just a good way for them to think about the letter, and it's all about Lucas County and what's great
Tina,
about
does
Lucas
Shane
County.
know all the letters? Have you had to, you can be honest on this show, if anything else. Shane is just an albatross.
If you need a D.
Yeah, oh, A for albatross. Shane can be A. There you go.
Well, the program
That
is
is
called
a fun-
Apples to Zebras, so apples is
Yeah,
the
he
A.
knows
Yeah.
zebras, let me tell you that. That guy is a
That's
bozo.
going to be fun. That's going to be a
It
fun
is.
show.
We are very excited. That one has been, I think the idea came to us 3 years ago, so we've been working hard at
Yeah,
trying
that
to
sounds like the
develop
pace
that.
that Shane works at.
How often do you guys create your own unique kids programming versus leveraging, PBS Kids national programming that's available?
Creation of kids programming here, video creation, is new since I've been here.
Cool.
And I do not believe it's happened an incredibly lot in the past.
Yeah.
So this is really exciting for us. As we look more toward digital, this is where
Yeah.
we want to go. It's going to be in the app. We'll be kicking it off in September, so we'll put that date out there, and it'll be really exciting. And
That is really exciting.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to follow on if we can continue to fund the program. We want to do 26 short form podcasts for kids to go along with the 26 letters of the alphabet. So there's more for this program if we can continue on.
Matt doesn't recognize all 26 letters of the
26.
alphabet.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought he was going to write me a check right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to want to catch that immediately.
Real quickly.
Yeah. 26 letters, that's great.
No, I think this is such a great program. It's such a good idea. And an
It is a great
opportunity to take, to your earlier comment about, active viewing, right? To be able to take the thing you're doing on the screen, get out in the community and see it in real life. It's not every day. I think it's part of the excitement of Daniel Tiger coming to Toledo is it's not every day you get to see the thing you're watching on TV in person. And for folks across Northwest Ohio to have a chance to do that, that's really exciting. You should be so proud of that.
Yeah. Gretchen, your favorite location in Toledo, indiscriminate of the letter that it starts with?
My favorite location?
Yeah, that's the words I said.
I don't know. Glass City
Thanks.
Riverwalk is really at the top.
right.
Going to be at the top, I think. Why did you ask me that?
I don't know, because it seemed topical. See, I thought you were listening.
I thought it was going to be Holland, Michigan. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was like,
For
wait,
sure.
what? Oh, got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Tina, if people want more information on PBS Kids
Oh,
and
Tina.
WGTE programming, where can they find it?
Our website, WGTE.org.
And check out the app, it's awesome.
And the app.
It's awesome.
August 10th, Daniel Tiger, Toledo Zoo.
Absolutely.
Don't miss it.
Nailed it.
Keep your hands away from his mouth.
He's a real tiger. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will be joined by Zach Vassar and Ben Malcheski talking about an upcoming artist event with Live Arts Toledo. It's the 419, powered by WGTE.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
Destination Toledo. Whether you're a local or a visitor, Destination Toledo invites you to explore the region and be a tourist in Toledo. Find events, dining, and things to do at visittoledo.org.
WorkSpring. HR issues and employee well-being go hand in hand. WorkSpring supports employers through compliance, training, and wellness because healthy workplaces don't happen by accidents. Learn more at workspring.org.
Toledo Refining Company, a subsidiary of PDF Energy. Toledo Refining Company is a supplier of fuels that keep our region moving. Located in Oregon, Ohio, the refinery processes crude oil into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other petroleum products.
And TARTA, celebrating its 55th year of connecting Northwest Ohioans to their community. More information at tarta.com.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE. We're joined now by Zach Vassar with Live Arts Toledo, Ben Malcheski with Random House Publishing. No? Maybe?
Well, this is a community partnership I am on Penguin Random House's advisory board, so that's one of the many hats that I wear, but yes.
I know there's a lot of hats. So you and I met when you were working for the library. I think you were at Sylvania Library.
Way back. Yeah.
We've reconnected through Rotary.
Yeah.
But you guys are working on a project together.
We are?
Oh my gosh.
Did you just randomly show up here together? That's weird.
That's what the random was.
Literally random. I'll tell you what,
Yes.
you host your show at the food court at Franklin Park Mall, good things happen. I've always said that.
I guess let's start with, so this is you've got an author coming in town. June 11th, Dave Eggers is coming. This is connected to Live Arts Toledo. Typically what I would expect from you guys is something music or dance related. Why an author?
So when we rebranded back in September, we were talking a lot about the power of bringing people together for live experiences. You know, we don't have those precious opportunities to do that very often. You know, I basically say you either go to a sporting event, to a church, or to a concert, and that's when you meet strangers and sit shoulder to shoulder. And when we changed our name from Toledo Alliance for the Performing Arts to something called Live Arts Toledo, that opened up and gave us agency not to just focus on classical music or dance or jazz, but to anything that would bring that power of connection and community together. So when we talked about having Dave Eggers come in to basically launch his new book tour, we thought about whether spoken word and the topic of discussing printed words is a live art. And I think you had some really great ideas about what that means. And you know, we can call this live words because authors do a lot of very dynamic thinking when they're putting their books together. And we have a rare chance to see that in play.
And this is a really big deal. I mean, he's going to be kicking off his national book tour for his new book. He's a very accomplished author here in Toledo on June 11th at the Peristyle.
And at the Peristyle.
Yeah.
I think the Peristyle was really important to you guys.
But I want to lean into that. If you Ben has had the misfortune of educating me most of our lives, so I guess this is a natural role for you.
It's good that I'm sitting between you two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please give other bozos that listen to the show like myself a little bit of background on Mr. Eggers, the book, and why this is so significant.
Sure. Well, he's a highly accomplished author, finalist, winner for so many book awards and you know, writerly recognition from Pulitzers to National Book Awards to he has a children's book, and like the best children's books, it's actually maybe more for adults, or you get something out of it too, or maybe more out of it. He won a Newbery for that recently. But it's done so much and done so much community work too. So there's the whole like social justice side of what he does too. He came up with 826 National. Just so integrated, involved, first locally, but then regionally and nationally, and he does so much. So it's amazing to even have this kind of opportunity to work with him. There is a longer, funnier story of how we came to kind of to intersect. He also, if you're familiar with McSweeney's literary journal, it's an awesome thing. It's a great rabbit hole to go down to, go into. But so that's actually produced out of Ann Arbor, and we hosted Amanda Yulee, who has a new book out too, which is awesome, called "Destroy This House." It's amazing. It's won many awards too. She's been on many podcasts, awesome Dax Shepard podcast, great one, not that we're cross-exposing or anything,
right.
cross-promoting, but
well, they'll
it's
talk
awesome.
about our podcast too on Dax Shepard.
Exactly, it will come up. It will come up. But she interviewed on that, and she will be interviewing Dave at this event too. So she is the head of McSweeney's Press, the editor, the manager there. But I stumbled into her at a literary event in Ann Arbor with Gary Steingart. There's a great story there too about, actually could just be called how Gary and Ben just stumbled around Ann Arbor and were oblivious that the art fair was going on at the same time, yet still managed to find excellent parking spots right in front of everywhere they wanted to go to. But anyway, we hosted Amanda out of that, connected through that. She's going to interview Dave on stage. The book is about art history and really art throughout our lives. It follows two young adults, kids, and how one an artist and one kind of artistic kind of force of nature and how they evolve through their life. It's about friendship and aging together. And so I've been a literary critic too for 20 years, published book reviews, all that, while I was working with libraries. And you know, I always, you know, reading reviews and I always kind of see the art behind the review, and when sometimes it's forced or when it's kind of manufactured a little bit. With this one, I've seen it positively. What you hope for is you get a book that kind of inspires you and challenges even you as a critic or reviewer, and you come up with these lines and you're like, almost like, where did that come from?
But if I may ask, what makes a responsible or good critic? If you were to be able to create this in the lab.
Well, there is a critical method and a critical process.
Certainly.
With something like this, I've seen it even once you have those kind of rote elements down, the structure that you've practiced through the years, and you kind of know the benchmarks to hit. You need to, you know, look at what they're currently working on, where it fits in with the larger kind of scope of the genre, perhaps, or where it kind of aligns with other authors or people that have, you know, where it fits in with that kind of collective body of work, but then also where it fits in with their own personal development as a writer too. But so with this, in the most beautiful way, I've seen lines from reviews, and reviewing it is kind of its own form of art too, and there's certain more famous ones than others.
Absolutely.
And, you know, from your Pauline Kael's and Anthony Lane's for film and things, but there's an art form behind it. But I've seen with this, while reading some of these too, just lines that pop, where you're like, wow, this is going to be, and from respected journalists too, like Kirkus and Library Journal, who I've had the honor for reviewing for too. But they, one of the lines was, what was it? It's about friendship and what it means to know somebody, but also on a more deeper level, it's about what it feels like to be known.
Sure.
And
something we all aspire to.
Yeah. And we need that, right?
Yes, sir.
But it's something too where I think it's rare, like even in the most intensely kind of heavy kind of relationship text, relational text, you know, often it's around a drama or something like this. But as we see it evolve through the years, cleaner and messier and all that, this one kind of, it feels real.
Can I ask you both, and mostly just so I can get Ben to stop talking?
Yeah.
The juxtaposition, and again, I think I can say this, both you were both dear friends of mine. Ben, it's not that big of a word, Zach.
Juxtaposition.
Yeah, you'll get it. But you both represent culture and concepts that I don't want to say are falling out of disfavor by any means, but they're so critical to the fabric of a society that I think we all aspire to live in or aspire to recreate. But there is a need to have things be sold, rear ends and seats. And one of the things that's the most difficult is to educate the unwilling masses. Talk to me a little bit about how you introduced pop culture or popularity and potentially use that as a vector to introduce people into larger thematic items or things that, well, if you like this, you might like that. That has to be a difficult charge. You're introducing new people, young people. I mean, young is obviously a broad term, but it is the charge that both of you have dedicated a career and a lifetime to.
I look at it differently. I feel like if we look at this as simply selling Brussels sprouts, you know, we don't want everyone to.
Already an approachable start.
we don't want to just say that this is a challenge to begin with, and that everybody has to learn to love Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are very good. I think there's something very different here. Is that coming out of the pandemic?
Yeah.
Just think back, it's 2020, and all of the online shopping you did, all the stuff you brought to your house because you couldn't go out and do things. So over the last 6 years, we've accumulated a lot of stuff. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now we're selling that stuff. We're giving it away.
Yeah.
And we're trying to replace that with experiences.
Yeah.
So it's a really good time to be in the experience game.
I agree.
And so I think, it's not so much to say, if you liked A, try B. It's that all of this stuff brings you out of your place and exposes you to something that we're biologically wired to appreciate.
I love that. And of course, you're using the word stuff, not specifically, but as a vector to deliver that message. But I want to push the back, then maybe direct us to Ben. There is certainly a lot of stuff to consume out there.
Why are these things different? And of course, I want to talk a little bit about more with live arts, the season coming up, but why isn't this more stuff?
Well, I think you kind of, like I was saying, with the typical kind of rote review that you would read, I mean, you can tell the difference between, well, I can think, wearing a Shinola watch, I was just thinking of an expression that involves that. But you can see the difference between, I can't say that, yes, I signed the waiver.
We have waivers? What a show.
You thought people were waving at you?
Yes, that's true, that's true.
Yeah.
But there's a difference, and you kind of know it. And between sugar and saccharin, right?
Yeah.
And with that pure sweetness, when you get it, it's like, this Coke tastes different than this one with corn syrup.
Yeah.
The analog for me is sitting down and reading a novel is a great experience.
Yeah.
And we've all had the moment in our lives when we were surprised by where it took us, how much it transported us, and how much it gave us agency to engage in fantasy or wonder. And books do that, music does that, performances do that. These are great opportunities to appreciate the hard work that a composer or a dancer or a writer has put into the world and bring it into yours.
We're talking with Zach Vassar and Ben Malczewski. Zach, you've got this event on June 11th with Dave Eggers is just one of many great opportunities people have to engage with art across Northwest Ohio.
It's true.
What else do you guys have coming up?
So we're kind of ending the 25-26 season right now. So we have the event with Dave. We have an event with Ray Angry, who's the pianist for The Roots on The Tonight Show. He'll be with the Jazz Orchestra on the 13th.
Cool.
And then we have another author event with another Dave, David Ellis, on the 11th of July. And that will basically be the end of our 25-26 season. And then in September, we kick off 26-27.
Yeah.
Which will take us right back into the Paris style and 200 performances over 40 weeks.
I know we're a little bit late.
Right.
You announced this, but do you mind talking a little bit about what people can be expecting for the next season? It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so this is the first season that we've really designed under the idea of Live Arts Toledo.
Yeah.
So, you know, we were TAPA for a couple of years. We were the symphony and the ballet, but now we're really trying to think of this on a much wider basis as to what we can bring.
And
and
you're
how we
originally
can stimulate.
TCBY.
I'm sorry? TCBY.
Yeah. I mean, that was
I've worked with a lot of
parent company.
Yeah,
well, but you know what I found out?
Yeah.
It wasn't yogurt.
So, you
You're
know.
kidding me.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's no God.
So
Please take
you're kicking right at the table right now.
Yeah, that's not my leg. It's my cane. Go ahead.
So we have a great set of performances.
Yes.
Some of them very collaborative between the different art forms. And you know, we'll be presenting a lot of things that are new to Toledo that we've never been able to do before.
Give us one.
Alpine Symphony by Richard Strauss. It's a 45-minute piece that goes to the top of the Alps and then all the way back down.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great. Yeah.
And you spend a lot of time in nature, I understand, in your day job.
Yes.
So
well, I
imagine
used to. Now I just get to deal with angry people in my computer. But but at one time.
So just imagine that they wrote a symphony about that.
Yeah.
All the angry people in your computer.
So, yeah.
It's a piece that the symphony's never performed because it's frankly just too big.
Yeah.
And that is one of the later things we'll do in the season. We'll finish things up with Verdi's Requiem, which is a piece we haven't performed in a very long time. And we have a wonderful violinist called Joshua Bell who's coming back to Toledo for the first time in about 15 years.
Oh, cool.
And it just reminds us that, you know, whatever you think about our community, the world has us on their radar. And
absolutely.
What is the spring ballet this season? This
Spring
year?
ballet will be Don Quixote, another great narrative fiction.
Storybook ballet.
And that's another great opportunity for the symphony and the ballet to collaborate. We'll be reprising winter works with a lot of new choreographers. That's the jazz and the dance and the classical all in one room. Jazz Orchestra has maybe the most famous piece of music that we all know but we don't know is performed by a guy named Wayne Bergeron. It is the Jeopardy theme.
Oh, nice.
The final Jeopardy music. But besides that, he's done music to a bunch of Pixar movies and Disney movies. He is the lead trumpet in the world and hits all the high notes. So he'll be with the Jazz Orchestra. Wonderful singer Joan Ellison will be kind of bringing out the American Songbook. So I'm very excited. It's a phenomenal season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I learned something new. I didn't realize the Jeopardy theme was played on a trumpet.
It's actually a cornet.
Okay.
You can go look up the difference.
I'm not gonna.
Gretchen, I'm going to put you on the spot. The title of Dave's book is Contrapposto.
Yes.
Do you have anything to share with us about that?
Well, I know what it means.
It's the opposite of pasta, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's country pasta.
I remember this from my art history class. It's an Italian word that describes a stance, which is basically putting used in sculpture often, but it's putting all of your weight sort of on one leg. Audience may be able to picture the David statue by Michelangelo, and it's to use Matt's word, a juxtaposition between on one leg but also ready to move forward.
Yes, you could see it as also less weight on a weak leg too. So it's the balance. It can go both ways kind of too. It's the balance, and that's kind of, I think, kind of one of the themes, the metaphors that we.
Thank you for making me seem smart for one second.
Yeah, and that statue is housed at the Gene Kranz Airport. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly
Zach
correct.
Vassar, Ben Malczewski, thank you so much. People want more information on the Dave Eggers event. Where can they find it?
LiveArtsToledo.com.
LiveArtsToledo.com. Thank you so much. We did not get time to get to the 419 quiz, but we will do that on social media.
Oh, boy.
So check out the 419 Facebook, Instagram, and you will see both of these gentlemen take Gretchen's Wacky Quiz. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Wrap up this Tuesday edition of the 419.
You laughed with us. You learned with us.
Hi, neighbor.
We made sure your childhood was special. Memories that could only be provided by PBS. For generations, we've given you programs that made a difference. Programs that entertained, informed, and inspired. And today is no different. This is WGTE Public Media in Toledo. It's where you belong.
Take WGTE with you, wherever, whenever, with the newly redesigned WGTE app. Watch our locally produced TV programming and your favorite PBS shows. Listen to FM 91 Live, stream our podcasts, and stay in touch with NPR News. Plus, get access to PBS Kids, great entertainment when you're on the go. All on demand in the palm of your hand. Download the WGTE app on the Apple App Store or Google Play today.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE. Just wrapped up a conversation with Zach Vassar, Ben Malczewski, Dave Eggers coming to town as we wrap up this Tuesday edition of the 419. There's a lot of great events coming this summer.
So many things to do. Amazing. First, you go out to Copper Press in White House. You get some coffee. You get a burrito.
Load up on carbs.
June 11th is the Dave Eggers event at the Peristyle Live Arts Toledo. Then June 12th, movie night here at WGTE. July 31st is Wow's About, another movie night at Wildwood. August 10th, Daniel Tiger at the Toledo Zoo. It's just, there's a lot of cool stuff going on for the summer with kids, families. It's gonna be great.
Before we started this segment, I did mention to my two buddies that I would go to or take my kids to almost everything that was talked about today.
Totally.
Yep,
If you missed any part of the conversation, you can check it out 7 a.m. on YouTube, 3 p.m. on FM 91, or 6 p.m. on WGTE Connects channel 30.4, or online, WGTE.org/the419, or download the new and improved WGTE app to get all the best things, including some great PBS Kids programming. It's the 419, powered by WGTE, presented by Witro Wealth Management.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.